Hello, welcome into Building a Movement Out of Following for Business. My name is Jasmine Partita. I'm with the Simplicity of Socials, and I'm not kidding. This is seriously one of my favorite presentations that we've done in a little while, so I'm excited you're here and that we can bring this to you. So who am I? I am the owner of the Simplicity of Socials. We do online courses for business and social media strategy and tech, and we teach solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and small businesses, nonprofits, kind of the strategy and strategy, messaging, and technology behind marketing and business. I'm a business and social media strategist. I have almost 20 years experience, and I really believe in empowering women. I know we throw the word empowerment around a lot, but to me, it's a very active thing. It's sharing information, resources, and really supporting each other's growth. So I spend quite a lot of time in those arenas. I'm the host of the When Women Speak podcast. On the podcast, we cover social and economic structures that hold women back from using their voice. And I've got a little logo up there if you wanted to try to find me. And then I was the National External Communication Manager for the 2017 Women's March on Washington in D.C. I've worked on a lot of projects. This is just the most recognizable. But instead of listing off an entire resume, I just kind of want to be clear. I have done multiple large-scale national movements, and I'm bringing you that information in this presentation. And I've worked, honestly, with thousands of nonprofits and companies all over the United States at this point. So the first question that we need to answer is the difference between a following and a movement. So followers, people who follow your account. Okay, pretty basic. But a movement are people who are there to take action and have you lead the way. So in a lot of ways, it's a mindset thing, but it's also what we're going to talk about doing here, which is that they feel like they're part of something bigger and they're excited to be there with you. So people might follow your account for any number of reasons. These are kind of the top ones. Maybe they are interested in your yearly or bi-yearly sales, or maybe you did a specific post or picture once that they really liked, and they're hoping they're like, oh, I like that. So they followed you hoping to get more of whatever that thing was. Maybe they find your account inspiring. You see this with solopreneurs. Well, they will follow accounts because they want a follow back, and if you don't follow them back, then they will stop following you. So those are fake followers. Maybe they attended one of your events and they started following you after that so that they'll be able to get tickets to your next event and be on the front end of attending anything you do because they had a good time. Sometimes passive learning. That means that they enjoy your posts, they'll scroll past them, they'll read them, but they don't engage with them at all. That's kind of passive learning. They might follow you because they want to learn more about your brand. They love your behind the scenes, your kind of sneak peek behind the curtain, if you will, kind of posts. And shareable content. I have a number of people who follow a couple of my top accounts because they want to share it to their pages. So it helps build out the content on their pages and frankly the engagement on their pages using content I created by sharing it over. And it allows them to not have to build everything from scratch. And they'll follow maybe 5 or 6 to 10 different accounts. And then they'll curate the content within their own content on their page. But all of this is pretty passive. What you want to do is build a movement because you want people to take action. You want them to buy, attend an event, donate, share your content, like a specific action, and start kind of mulling over what that is because you really want to have one main action people who follow your account can take. Anything beyond that is extra, joyful, special, a one-off, but you really want to be focused on what is the one thing you're hoping everybody does that follows your account. So let's start with the top mistakes that I see businesses make with social media. So the first one, they're all very common, but creating content you want. So businesses will say, well, we want them to know about this. Okay, but do they want to know about that? Sure, you've got products and services. That stuff's on your website. They're on your social media for that deeper level connection. If they wanted the other kind of just products and services, if they just wanted that, they would go to your website. If they are following you on socials, they're looking for something more. And I suggest you do this when you're done here, go to one of your accounts, if you're big on Facebook or Instagram, wherever you are the most active naturally, and look at the brands that you follow, the businesses that you follow, and think about why you were following them. What about them resonated enough for you to follow them on Facebook or Instagram? relying on boosts. So it can be really tempting to just boost a single post for exposure. This is often done outside of a larger strategy. So it's kind of just throwing money away, honestly, unless you boost a post within a strategy, which is rare. If you boost a post and you get reactions and followers off that one post, but that single post is nothing like the rest of your account, one of two things will happen. Either those followers will disappear in the future and you will lose followers because they'll realize the account is not what they thought it was, or they won't engage with the content you have. So Facebook, Instagram, whatever the platform is, will say, oh, this content's not interesting. And we're going to cover this a little deeper in a minute. The other thing is tracking the wrong metric. So many businesses are unclear what data metric to track, so they go with the simplest. It is really easy to see the follower number grow, decline, whatever. You can plot that on a chart every Friday afternoon and see how your accounts are doing. But followers is not the metric you want. It's just the simplest. Not understanding the value of social media. I've seen some companies think of social media as such an afterthought that they don't even have their social media strategist or account manager or even just social media specialist, whatever they call it in their company, at the marketing meetings. They're not even at the marketing meetings, which means the social media person doesn't have a way to help engage online, and they're not part of building that conversation. But when you do your social media as part of your marketing and business plan and your product launches, and the whole piece goes together at once, it becomes this very powerful journey for your clients. So engagement is key. Your goal should be to have content that really connects with people organically, without paid ads, without paid followers. You can do those. Well, I don't do paid followers, please, but you can do paid ads later once you really understand who your audience is and what's speaking to them. A single post that connects to your target audience will actually get more views and, frankly, more sales than something that is viewed through an ad on any of the platforms. So I've gotten pretty good at this. This was a recent experiment that I did on my love-hate relationship with TikTok here. In 3 videos, which is 3 minutes of content, I was able to get, here's at 675. I think I'm at almost 800 today. This was a couple days ago. So I was clear on who I am. I defined what made me different and how I showed up in the videos. I optimized my profile, defined who I was going to talk to. I picked a tone that was positive and authentic. And I used related hashtags that were trending. I engaged somewhat daily, and I solved problems in a unique way. So when I say somewhat daily, there's 2 schools of thought on this. There's 3, actually. But the 2 main schools of thought are you have to log on every day and engage for 5 minutes on every platform. A, that's exhausting. B, I like vacations. I can't do that every day. But C, to my point, what I actually believe you should do is have consistent usage. So if that means you always use it in the evenings, 3 nights a week, stick with that. If you do it on the weekends, if you do it whenever you're waiting for your kids to get out of school and you're sitting in your car for 5 minutes, that's fine. The platforms want to know that you're a real person. So any kind of usage that you have that is consistent will tell them that. Admittedly, of course, the more you use a platform, the more it will know you're a real person and the more it will reward you by showing your content to new people. However, you can find a sweet spot in there that is more authentic to who you are and how you use the platform. Okay, so this was just to give a sense of growth. This was Tuesday. I had 567 on Tuesday followers, and then 675 on Thursday. And the views are about 20,000 more, which is pretty consistent still because I'm at almost 100,000 views on that last video. So it's continuing to grow. I'm actually doing an experiment right now where I'm not posting another video on purpose because I'm looking to see where the drop off in engagement is. So I'm not commenting, I'm not posting another video, I'm not doing anything out of what I was already doing. So I can track the downhill slope on this, but so far it hasn't come. So these are 3 accounts from 3 separate accounts. All of them had under 3,000 followers. One of them had like 1,200, I think. No ads were used, but we were able to have high-reaching posts through building and curating a movement on their pages. And this is really just to show you how far-reaching just engagement with no ads can be. And it's really powerful. Even when people don't like something, they'll share it. If they have a strong emotion, or there's a strong call to action, or there's a strong connection, they will share it, like it, comment on it. save it because they feel connection to something deeper. And that is what we're going for here. Even if you run an ad, you need that ad to connect more specifically to your target audience so that they will buy from you. You can't just run a random ad and hope it works. I mean, you can, but why? Instead, what I suggest is once you go through this process and you find those posts that really pop and speak to people, you can use those to inform how you will be creating your ad. So I showed you this before, but it's just really true. Engagement is key. Your main goal should be content that people connect with organically. 10,000 followers. People are always saying, I can get you 10,000 followers in 3 months. I don't know where this number comes from. People are stuck on 10,000. I won't hire somebody that doesn't have 10,000. I don't know what you're talking about. 10,000 followers will not get you 10,000 leads or sales or donations or votes or whatever it is that your action that you're going for from people. In fact, if you have followers who are not connected with your content, it's actually going to hurt you in the algorithms of the social media sites because they will decrease how many people see your content. It's more powerful to have fewer followers that are more connected to your message. So if you have 10,000 followers, but you're barely getting 10 responses, likes, comments, anything on a post, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media sites will go, this is not interesting content. Let's not show it to more people. I've actually had business accounts that I took over where we had to start an entirely new page because all the followers were either fake or they were just grown through ways that didn't quite connect with what the company was doing, and it didn't really work with what the company was trying to accomplish. So we had to start from scratch and build all the way from scratch. Okay, so what does it look like to have a movement as a business? So Nike does a great job with this. They're one of the originals because they did this really before we were digital. But they don't focus on their products. They focus on the athletes. This post, I don't know if you can read the caption, so I wrote it there, outplay yourself. They don't say their name anywhere. They don't say how they helped. They have 3 logos. I actually thought there were 4. It's like Rose Waldo. I swear to God, there's 4. This is a very, very branded post. We know it is Nike, but they didn't talk about Nike. They have sold us on whatever stuff they sell for tennis because of the athlete that they are supporting. And they do this all the time. They will focus on kid athletics. They will focus on new and upcoming athletes. They will focus on the run, on the season, on the track, they focus on the people. The products are just supporting the magic of the people. It becomes a movement that way. Pop-Tarts. Why does Pop-Tarts have 4 million Facebook followers? Okay, I literally said that out loud a couple years ago. So if you go to the Facebook page and go to the About section, it literally says, declare your love for Pop-Tarts, like, comment, or share. It's all crazy good. So Pop-Tarts, 4 million followers. We're going to talk through Pop-Tarts a bit more, but they don't take themselves too seriously. They know exactly who their target audience is, and they have built a following, and they should have left us with the 90s in some ways. You know, once that S'mores Pop-Tart came out, it seems like we should have maybe lost them a little bit, but they just grew and grew and grew, and some of it is because of the way they've handled their marketing. National Geographic. It was 120 years old and starting to struggle. I like to say the internet tried to kill it. It's not entirely accurate, but they needed a pretty massive pivot. And they were able to give us one of the highest top accounts in both terms of followers at 165 million and engagement. Their last post here in the screenshot had 91,000 likes. That's not even comments, shares, or saves, just likes. So they managed to go from over a century as a magazine, as one thing, and form themselves into the next level of something digitally. And it's still this gorgeous, beautiful, high interacting account and business and brand. So it's very cool. Okay, but how do we do this? So a viral movement, an online movement that expands out, will always have these 4 elements. There will always be relatable with original views, inspiring people to stop and consider what they thought they knew in a different way. They're easily shareable, not just content or not format-wise, but content-wise, a digestible scale. They give hope. We know the world is broken. I think we can all kind of see that to one extent or another, depending on what business you're in. But what we want to talk about are solutions, about progress, about hope, about inspiration, about how we are making things better and how we're moving forward. And they're empowering, and they give people the chance to feel like they can bring change in their life and hope to their family. You have to have all 4 of these. So start with a campaign. When you have 4 elements of a viral post in mind, create a single campaign. I'm literally going to break down the steps on how to do this. That's why I said in my entry that you need pen and paper to get started. A campaign is a series of posts on the same single clear message or call to action. So step 2 is going to be, you're going to define your client, who will best match your products, who are you going to be speaking to, and then what makes you unique? What is your strength as a company? What makes you different than other companies selling the same thing? What is your unique angle? And then really sit down and map out your client journey. When somebody links off of your socials to your sales page or your website, if it's a completely different feel, messaging, everything, they will not buy from you. Something will be a disconnect. It feels like a lie. Either the social media is a lie or the website's a lie. They don't know, but they're out. They're not going to buy from you. So you have to have clarity on all of these. And then break down the 4 elements while centering your audience. So I'm going to give you an example of that. Pop-Tarts. Yay, Pop-Tarts. They did this post. Just kills me. Public service announcement. Pop-Tarts are not ravioli. They are not sandwiches, and there will never be a Tide Pod flavored Pop-Tart. Have a nice day. It is relatable and original, easily shared, gives hope. Gives hope in the sense that it was positive during what was actually a pretty negative time in the United States, March 2018. And it's empowering. It gives people this sense that they can share it. This is still being, in fact, I'm sincerely not making it up. It's why I use this example. A week ago, I saw a post that somebody was using on their account. Pop-Tarts are not ravioli, fight me. And they had thousands and thousands and thousands of comments. They started a whole conversation, and it all tracks back to this tweet. So it is empowering that person to build their own engagement on their page and utilize this content. Okay, so why does it work? So Pop-Tarts, they identify their target audience, and they're writing content for those people. So kids loved Pop-Tarts. That's great. But they don't buy Pop-Tarts. Kids don't have any money. College kids have some, though, and parents definitely do. Those are their target audience. So how do you engage parents with young kids? What do you need to do to be engaging for college kids? What platforms are they on? What are their goals in following a brand? And what other content are they engaging with? So I'm going to go back a second. Pop-Tarts made fun of themselves, which means the parents could relate to it because parents understand how ridiculous Pop-Tarts are. They buy them so that it's a quick, easy thing in the car or a fun treat for their kids, but they don't take them seriously. Pop-Tarts is showing they agree. We're not serious. We're here to have fun. For college kids, they don't, maybe they wanted something more irrelevant. This was shared greatly. Oh gosh, I forget the name of the college now. This really went off and it became a whole debate at one college. So it allowed college kids to share this really easy and kind of mock themselves a little bit and mock the generation that was eating Tide Pods. Also at this time, a lot of companies were using Twitter for this. Quick announcement. Pop-Tarts made fun of that entire process and was like, you know what? We've got an announcement too. We're not ravioli. And just the tone of this really connected with people in a different way that nobody was expecting. So they found their target audience, they connected to them, they wrote content for them, and they kept it really simple and shareable and engaging. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to brainstorm campaigns that would connect with your audience and then boil them down so it checks off all 4 boxes. For me personally, I put this aside. I generally send it to a designer so they can start kind of kneading out and feeling out some ideas for design concepts. But I put it aside for a minute. And then I map out my whole year. So I've got my product launches, my events. Maybe I'm doing a Black Friday sale this year. Maybe I have a summit I'm doing this summer. So I lay all that down. In essence, I'm doing my marketing plan. Even if I don't have all the content written, I have the calendar of my content for the year laid out. And then to whatever level you are able, you schedule those posts for the year. I personally can write, like for an event, I'll sit down and write all the posts leading up because I have a checklist of how to do that. So I'll do, this is the event, this is the speaker announcement 2 days before. The day before is check your registration. And I can lay out all the posts. And this is half of your social media. This should be at least half. And this should be done as your marketing and business plans. You can double check and make sure products aren't launching too close to each other, that they're launching in a way that they stack so that somebody that bought the first product will be excited about the upgrade you have launching 3 months later. So you can just kind of schedule it all out. Then you bring the team together. And if you're a solopreneur, I always say bring in other solopreneurs so that you can kind of help each other, and start with your top ideas from before that we set aside, from your brainstorming, and then research ways that you can engage with your target audience online with those themes and with those campaign ideas. So you've kind of got these ideas you've thought about or you've seen, and you just kind of brainstorm it out. Really flesh it out with a team and get some feedback. Think of them as like your sample size, right? And what it connects with them. I do this with Post-its all over the room, and those big huge Post-its that you put up on the wall, and we just brainstorm out ideas, and then we go through it and we just boil it down to the ones that we really connect with. So I just want to show you an example of a movement that got boiled down to just opt outside. So REI does this thing, I don't know if you've heard about it, Green Friday. It's opt outside. It's instead of Black Friday. So I don't know if you were in this, it depends on how old you are, listener, but REI went through this, not REI, Black Friday got to this phase that was so invasive to Thanksgiving that it was starting at noon on Thanksgiving, and people were having to, in order to get the sales to buy the things they needed for their holiday shopping, having to leave Thanksgiving dinner or feeling pressured to leave Thanksgiving dinner. Parents that couldn't afford a bike unless they could get it on sale for their kids' Christmas. They were having Thanksgiving Day was taken over by Black Friday, and Black Friday was a complete mess, and it was so against what the concepts of Thanksgiving were that it hit this level of unsustainability. And REI jumped in and was like, you know what? No, opt out. In fact, opt outside. It's very simple. It's very easily understandable. It's easily shareable. It's empowering, and it's positive, and it's all 4 checks that I put on my list, right? They came out with this opt outside. And what they do is you can actually go to rei.com/opt-outside, and they have a whole page of photos they are pulling from people using that hashtag. People from all over the world submit to opt outside. And every opt outside, park districts around the country will actually, you can go to REI, you can get your media kit, you can, I worked with a large park district in the Bay Area, and we had signs up, we had marketing for months. It was one of our biggest days. And not only that, but then REI can sponsor things like they will come and do a table or do an event, or be part of the day with you guys at your space. So you have this ability to have REI really be a part of that day, or more specifically, as a park, as a district, as a city, as a community. You are connecting to opt outside through REI's movement. So now when you are going online, let's say you're a city, for example, or you're a business, that all your employees got to opt outside that day and you all went for a hike together and you posted a picture of that, you might get featured on REI, and you'll be able to post that on your socials and be part of that bigger movement. And your followers and your clients and anyone who follows you will see that you're part of something bigger. And all it is hashtag opt outside. All of that from one little hashtag created a whole movement that connects directly to REI's brand and their purpose and how they support people. It's pretty remarkable. It's one of my favorites. So step number 7 for you is going to be to stay focused. Your goal is to create a movement, a connection, and evoke a feeling or reaction. Stay focused on centering your ideal client. So you're going to have your marketing plan that's got all of your pieces, and the rest of the year is the other campaign, I would say maybe 2 or 3, that are these other movements that you're building. So here's a secret. People buy from brands when they trust them, connect to them, believe in them, frankly recognize them, when they break a mold, take a stand, are consistent, or make them think. If your brand hits all 8 of these, you're gold. You're great. You're golden. People will really, really deeply connect to you and appreciate you and be inspired by you. Now, again, not every post will hit it out of the park. Instead, you want to have one phrase, sentence, or theme that you're building content around, and then build up posts to that main point. So let's say you're doing your own version of opt outside. Like, let's say you invented opt outside. Your first post could be this Black Friday, hashtag opt outside. Your next 2 months could be content leading up to that. And every 5th or 10th post, whatever your kind of content schedule is, could be just one visual that just has the words hashtag opt outside, as you build momentum towards the day and create shareable content for people to connect to. And that is, this right here could be a 6-month campaign that you do that builds a movement and is part of building exposure of your brand. Again, not every post will go viral. The key is keeping up engagement on your page, so that when you do have a high-hitting post that has all 4 elements of success in it, your account has been primed to take off. So priming your page is why I say think of it as a special campaign. You're not launching 1 post or 5. You're launching a movement, a whole movement. So you're not looking for that one hashtag or that one post. You're going to have those pop out throughout the year that are those high-hitting posts or tweets, whatever platform you're on, but you have built up towards them. And then you're going to build back up to the next one and build back up. And with keeping your engagement consistent, that's how you're going to do that. So this is an example of one that I did. And the reason I'm sharing it is because it's exactly what I was saying with the opt-out example. So I literally just put 1 million and it got shared 172 times. I think the reach on this was, I want to say it was 42,000. It was just over 40,000 for sure. The following on this account at the time was about 2,500. It was this massive exposure that we got, comment, sharing, reposting, tagging, by saying 1 million. So when you go to the caption, it says, we had 1 million marchers in the streets of California yesterday. Were you with us? Register to vote. I also did a special vote link so we could track the people that went on it and see how many voters we were able to register. Women's March California was a nonprofit, so it wasn't Republican or Democrat. It was really just about bringing people out to take action and register to vote. That was the big thing in 2018, was seeing how many people we could get to register to vote. So that was data we wanted to collect. So when you're clear on what data you're trying to collect, whether it's sales conversions or if it's opt-ins for freebies or if it's how many people visited your website, make sure that you're putting it in the post that you have designed that's this high-hitting post. So strong visual, easy, simple caption. You can have a long caption. It depends on what you're doing, but it doesn't have, you're not relying on anything other than the movement that you're creating. Oh yeah, there we go. So it's 45,000 reach actually, and only 1,100 followers. Oh, this is 2018. Yeah. So only 1,100 followers at the time. 1,600 likes on the original post. It had all 4 elements. It was easily shared, relatable, digestible, gave hope, made people feel empowered to take action. So when you build your movement, you want to have clarity, who you're speaking to, what makes you unique, what your goal is, what your call to action is. You're going to create consistency, define and schedule the majority of your content, add in related items happening in real time. So any news or other things that are happening that are relevant to that movement. And do not keep changing who you are or why you're here. You also want to grab attention, a concise message that really brings home your point. Focus on engagement and giving hope and empowering others to join you. So the last element of the movement is making sure others have a chance to be a part of it. How are you inviting people in? Is it post a pic of you on a summit? For Pop-Tarts, are they not ravioli? Like I was talking about, somebody did that as their one post. Tag a badass woman who needs X reminder. Show us your receipts. How much did you pay for prescriptions? That just happened to me the other day. That's why I put that in there. Let them be part of the movement with you. Highlight their responses so that you're actually saying, this was great, bought by XYZ, and this is what they said. This is the book somebody bought from our bookstore. This is but think about how you are inviting them in to be part of the movement. So again, to lay out the elements here, we've got the 4 elements of a viral post. You're going to simplify and strategize who you're talking to and what makes you unique. You're going to brainstorm out what that movement could be, and then plan all of your marketing and other pieces for the year, and then schedule out your marketing and all of your business plan, and then create an engagement-focused campaign based off those brainstorms. I personally save my brainstorming sessions because I give them to other people as I run into them. Go, oh wait, I had this idea, but it didn't work for me. And I actually have a book of just brainstorming ideas, but they're great. So when you go back next year, sometimes you go, we weren't ready for that idea in 2020, but we're ready for it now in 2021. So that's why I say keep them. Stay focused on who your target audience is, or on your target audience, and what will inspire and serve them, and give them a chance to join you. And then the ninth kind of secret step is strategic partnerships, connecting and co-sponsoring and making sure that you're building a movement that's outside of just your company or your brand. How are you inviting others in, and how are you connecting with other brands and companies to expand that movement? Because a movement is a message, it's an action, it's hope and vision, it's connection, and it's a sense of something more. It's not a company. So strive to be more than the products and services you sell, because you are, your team is, and your audience wants to be. That's why we're on social media. So build your movement. If you wanted to help from me to build your movement, I have a course online. It is 50% off for the time being. It's actually $525 now, but so it's on sale for $225. And it's actually an in-depth training. It takes you through the 9 steps covered here over the course of 6 weeks. And then I've got an Ask Me Anything once a month, so that you can actually bring your questions and you can drop in the drafts of your movement so that we can give you feedback in the Facebook group. If you wanted, you could do the 90-day intensive with me. So I actually do a 90-day strategize your movement. It includes everything in the course. Plus, I offer one-on-one calls with me. You get 6 calls, and I mentor and help create that that year-long strategy with you. So you'll gain a 1-year business strategy, marketing plan, movement messaging, and social media content calendar. It is limited availability though, so you do have to fill out an application. And so be sure to look for an email from me. It's going to come from info@thesimplicityoфsocials.com with the link to those 2 things and a recording of this, so that you can make sure that you can bookmark this and come back to it, because it is a lot of information, and most people have been watching it 2 or 3 times to catch all the things they're looking for in it. So be sure to connect with me online at simplicityofsocials.com. I really love connecting, obviously, with people on social media. So go ahead and enjoy the Simplify Your Socials Facebook group as well when you find us. And hopefully I will talk to you soon and get to meet all of you. Have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for joining me on this. If you've learned anything, drop me a message and let me know what really resonated with you, so I can make sure to post more content on that and expand and answer more questions online for everybody.